Personally, that was probably the second worst I've ever felt. 20.1 is still worse. Still worse the first time I've ever done it. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Full Send podcast. It's been a little bit, but I'm excited to be back. Monroe, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing well. Glad to be back on the podcast.
Yeah, me too. And I know we just had noon class just leave, and they were excited to have us back too. Okay, man, so today we get to talk about the Open. At this point, guys, so 21.1, 2, 3, we've gone through everything. If it was your first Open, congratulations. If it was, I think it was 4 for me, it was also fun as well. Overall, I had a really great time doing everything there, man, and that's what we get to talk about today.
Yeah.
Cool.
Excited.
All right, man, let's just go 30,000-foot view. What'd you think?
I had a lot of fun. I thought that this year the 3-week format instead of 5, I think was way better. I
remember initially getting that news that we were going to do 3 weeks instead of 5, and I was really disappointed.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I was, and I was just like, it's not going to be as cool. And then by week 3, I'm just kind of like, this is kind of a perfect way to end. And by the end, I was like, yeah. And if I'm honest with myself, looking back at 2018, 19, 20, dude, by the time I got to like week 5, I was done.
You're right.
I was just like, I just want to go back and train and just not worry about this anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's not so much that it's like that much. It's just another workout.
Yeah.
But it's the mental amping yourself up every week, and then what's the workout going to be, and all the jitters and everything. So. And from an affiliate owner standpoint, it's a lot easier to manage after 3 weeks. So yeah, I thought it was great. I thought they did a good job with the workouts. I wasn't too stoked, obviously, about the second one. And I think we'll kind of break down each one of these.
Yeah, we will.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the overall, how they set everything up. I'm glad that they brought back the announcements. I'm glad that they brought back a lot of stuff. That it was kind of lacking the last few years.
Yeah.
So,
so overall, man, I loved it. It was an interesting thing because I didn't get to be a part of it in the beginning because I was sick. But what was cool about the programming part to it, because you could do it at home, is I was able to do the first workout, and I was just in the backyard, and I was able to do that, kind of it was on concrete, so it wasn't like being on our nice, rubber mats in here, but I was able to do it, which was super nice, and I thought that was a cool application to it. It was different for me this year, man. So in the past year, I've probably done less training than I have the entire duration since I've been in CrossFit. So it was very different, and my lungs were not in a place that I was used to, and so it was different. I'm gonna say it was probably a little disappointing for me personally, but that honestly made me want to go back in the gym and work a little bit harder and take my time getting better at movement patterns. And so there was some stuff that happened. We'll break down each of the workouts and we can give our own experience to it or do that. But the other thing that I'll take to it, right, I've been a part of Verity for a year, and dude, you can see the environment and just the culmination of everything and the new people and everybody developing relationships.
Yeah.
That was the special part to the Open, and something that I thought was just it was so cool to watch that, right? Because as you're bringing in new people, not everybody knows each other. That takes time to develop those relationships. You got to meet other coaches. You got to meet other people, and that just takes time to build a kind of a special atmosphere. And you could feel that. You could feel that in the Open.
Oh yeah, awesome. Definitely. No, there was a lot of really good times this year. A lot of highs, so that was cool. A lot of people I think were also surprised with what they were able to accomplish.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. We had people who this was their first Open, and they're like, oh man, I wasn't expecting to do any of this RX. And they're doing all of the workouts RX. And they get the last one, they're like, well, should I do it RX? It's like, what, do you have toes to bar? Yeah, might as well, And then, I think that helps people, like what you said, get back in the gym and, kind of have a reason of, something to shoot for.
Yep.
I had somebody ask me yesterday, should I go try local CrossFit competitions? Should I go do that? I'm like, sure, if you want to. Don't think that the point of what we're doing here is to do that. But I love CrossFit competition. I don't think there's anything wrong with that,
Yeah,
so I think that things like that and the Open help kind of give you a reason to keep coming in to work out and to keep working on your health and fitness. You know?
Yeah, and that's essentially what we just went through was a 3-week competition, and it's cool because you get to do things again that you never thought that you were gonna be capable of doing, and you also go to a place you don't typically go to. in most classes, I'm not gonna say you don't typically go there, but yeah, man, how did this experience for Verity differ from the past?
So we did an intramural open. How did it differ than the past years? It felt like there was just not that much. Like it just felt like it was a lot of fun. Like it didn't feel like there was a lot of pressure. It didn't feel like there was a lot of
I agree with that,
stress
man.
on it.
Yeah.
We had people I was filming all of them. It was stressful for me from kind of the stress that I put on myself about how I did it. But it was just a really fun environment. There was some light competition, some light banter between people, and it was just it was a fun thing. It was the way it should be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like I said, we had a lot of people exposed to things that they've never been exposed to, even myself. Like the first workout.
Oh, nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming. That's a good segue into it, man. So let's get into it, man. 21.1.
Yeah. So that wall walk, I think.
What were you thinking when you heard the wall walk was going to be a part of the workout?
I was like, what? For real? I was like, why? It was more like, huh? Really? That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
But, as kind of, I don't know, I guess I thought it was kind of dumb in the beginning because
Sure.
I think the wall walk is always seen, even, and this is part of the reason why I think it was cool that they put it in there was I feel like the wall walk is always seen as oh, that's a scale for handstand push-up.
Yeah, so building on that, so here's how I felt about it. I felt like most athletes were going to see it like that and view it like that. Now, I've done a lot of wall walks in my day. I know how hard wall walks can get very fast, and so when I saw that, I was like, people are going to underestimate this. This is going to suck. and it was hard, man. Your shoulders, gosh, went to a place that was kind of hard to imagine and everything.
For sure. I think it was really clever how they did that. One, because, like you said, people at home, not everybody has access to the same things. How can you challenge people in that way? The other thing I really liked was that it was a way to get people inverted with a standard that was very black and white. And I feel like all of the inverted standards in the past, like handstand push-ups, and strict handstand push-ups, and handstand and all that stuff is it's very kind of gray area-ish. It's oh, well, if I turn my hands this way, or if I if I shrug up really high or shrug down really low, it was just kind of, it seemed much more black and white this year. That being said, it was definitely a bias towards short people, but
sure, and it happened. It kind of goes both way in that direction, right? And there's no way that you're ever going to be able to universally fix that. Right. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's just gonna,
But I thought it was the most fair of the inverted standards that they've had, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucked. I was glad I only did it once. That was my worst workout this year.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would have done differently after doing it the first time?
Yeah. So I think with anything you learn, how to do it more efficiently. I think there was a lot of stuff that came out that people, Bailey was oh, you should, somebody said to jump your feet from the floor into the wall. I was like, no, that sounds dumb. But I would definitely think what I kind of started to do at the end when I got more fatigued was get into a 90-degree position on the wall and kind of push your butt back first. To get up onto the wall and really stack out your upper body and then walk your hands in close. But I think it was one of those things where the first time is a shock and you're kind of figuring the whole thing out, and the second time you can go through and do it better just by knowing what that movement's going to feel like, Yeah. I think it was a shock of, oh man, my shoulders are so blown up, my upper body is so blown up, and then, if you walk into that same workout expecting that, then your result will obviously be different.
Did you, and I didn't watch your video, but did you ever have a moment where you're I'm going to fall, or did you fall?
No, I didn't. I saw a bunch of
freaking badass, man. All right. I definitely did on the last one.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure many people were, because they're I got to get one more rep in. Yeah, makes sense.
I saw a bunch of pretty gnarly, just collapsing on the top of the head.
There's got to be a montage of video footage from like all different gyms of somebody just crashing. Very interesting, man. Yeah, the 21-1 was I was proud of that one. I was like, if I get to the round of 21 for wall walks, I'm going to be really pleased with that. I did. Don't have any regrets on that. I think I would probably just have more urgency when I was there, you know, particularly on the double unders and everything. But on the wall walks, I just kind of took my sweet time in the beginning because I was like, I know my shoulders are going to get to a point where this is going to be really hard.
Right.
And so I was just like, in the beginning, I just want to keep, you know, when we talk about workouts with stamina, right? And guys, if you don't know what that means, stamina basically means your body's not going to be able to do what you want it to do eventually, okay? That wasn't a workout where your lungs are like on fire, right? That was 21.2 in particular. And so what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to take those repetitions of each one that you're doing and keep them like, you know, 1 rep every 10 seconds or every 5 seconds. The trouble that people would get into towards the end of those workouts, or, you know, like a 19-3 where you have 30 strict handstand push-ups or 50, is there would be like, they'd do one and then it'd be like 30 seconds in between because they're just trashed. And so from the beginning, my whole goal was I was just like, okay, I'm going to go down here, I'm going to shake my arms out, count down from 5, and I'm just going to go again. And for the most part, held on to a pace like that. Probably a little slower towards the end, but that's to be expected eventually.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I saw people do when I watched people retest was when you got down onto the ground, not keeping your hands here, like people would like put their hands out to the side.
Yeah.
And I did this the whole time. And I mean, little things like that I'd change. You know, like, do I think that really made a difference? No, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah. I like that workout, though. I thought it was very clever. And I really like anything where you can have beginners and really fit people be really challenged at the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really cool experience to see everyone struggling with the same thing.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's not like, oh, well, you're doing banded pull-ups and I'm doing ring muscle-ups. It's not quite the same thing. It's like, nope, we're all doing wall walks, and they all suck for everybody after 6, you know?
I'm trying to think if there was a workout that was that universal.
Probably
between
7
everybody.
minutes of burpees.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about it.
Man, that's a workout too. Yeah, I love it, man. All right, 21-2.
What's the question?
How'd you feel?
How did I feel?
How did you feel when they announced the workout? This was the one
annoyed.
This was the one that everybody thought was going to be in the Open.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was just not like they did such a good job, in my opinion, with 21.1, and it was just like, man, Dave did a great job. Like, this is creative, it's new, it's like, you know, all the stuff we just talked about, and then it was like, oh, exactly what everybody expected.
Right.
Here's a retest. So I was bummed out. I think that I don't know. I think I kind of carried that with me into the workout, where I was like, kind of just not super excited about it.
Sure.
And even less carried it into the workout, but I would say carried it into the video that I made. I really feel like on the second one, I kind of just checked the box, and I was just like, well, it's the workout that it was 3 years ago.
Right.
That's your tips. Hope you did it right 3 years ago, you know, and like, but yeah. So I wasn't like super excited for the workout. I did all right. I think that having the video was the only reason that I did well, as weird as that sounds, just because right before we went, you know, Ben was like, hey, what's your strategy? And I was like, well, gotta hang on to the dumbbell unbroken, because that was my strategy when I was like really fit in 2017.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's what I did, you know, to go fast then. So that was the strategy. And as soon as I said that, like, all I could think about when I was in the 40s and the 50s was I was like, well, I just said you got to hang on camera, so I can't now drop the dumbbell.
Were you able to hold on to the dumbbell the whole time? Okay.
Yeah.
How did your score compare to 17.1?
I was like 40 seconds slower.
That's not
so it was like,
bad.
I was like 11:30 something.
Yeah,
and
that's
this time
not.
it was 12.
That's not
12
bad
something.
for context. In 2017, where would you say that was, like in the peak of your CrossFit career?
The top.
Okay, that's
the peak,
pretty
the peak
serious good, dude.
Yeah, it was funny. I had one of our members, Bazad, come up to me and he was like, He was like, yeah, man. He's like, so this was a retest. They did this in 2017. He was like, yeah, it's cool. A lot of people are getting better. And I was like, yeah, you know, I did. He's like, why didn't you do better? I'm like, listen.
Yeah,
fitness is a journey.
Yeah, man. And like, so that's something like in the last Open that I did was easily the best Open that I've ever had. But I was also like doing 3 Metcons a day and was training way more. And in my life has just changed. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, you know?
Yeah.
And the same has happened for you. And like, that's just going to be,
for sure.
That's what's going to happen over time. There's no problems with that. Let's see.
It was a real cool testament too, to like, one, you know, how building a base of fitness, you know, will kind of last for a while. And like the experience that you've had really is important in what you're doing, you know, in the workouts today.
Yeah.
You know, so I felt like just because I had some experience with that workout, I had a leg up on, you know, some of the newer people that weren't here in 2017. So it was cool to be able to like see how close I could get, and that like my brain could still kind of push me to that point, even though, you know, I'm not training like that at all.
Yep.
You know, so
yeah, that's awesome, man.
What about for you? You like that workout?
Dude, that I'm trying to think.
I like that workout. Like I think dumbbell snatch and a burpee box jump over is not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it from a programming standpoint. I didn't mind it as a repeat. I was okay with that, and I thought with what we had to do, it was a good workout. And it was a good benchmark for what we all had to do. Personally, that was probably the second worst I've ever felt. 20.1 is still worse. Still worse the first time that I've ever done it, but it was similar. Like I was doing singles on the 50 of snatches.
Oh yeah.
Because like I could not catch my breath. It felt like, and I got done, and I was like outside. People thought I was like puking, but I was literally just like my lungs were just on fire, and I like was doing anything to come back to homeostasis. I thought it was a good workout. I didn't like it, you know, because it was really not fun to do. You know, and I think the biggest takeaway for me for the Open will be going forward is just getting my head correct, right? We'll be working on my mindset more than anything else, because this happened in 21.3 too, right? And we'll get a little bit more into depth to that. But at the end of 21.2, like my head just fell apart, where I was like, this sucks. This is terrible. I want to be anywhere but here. I don't want to do this. I mean, just like you have that voice and sirens. Yeah, just going off in your head. And it's like, you know, this is really hard. Like good, man. Like life is hard, you know? So, I mean, being able to deal with this stuff is going to help you deal with a lot of other stuff in life. And there's too many times where I come in here and I get so caught up in how good I used to be, where I'm just like, this is dumb. And we had a workout today where I put this into practice. You know, we had, it was running with ring muscle ups. There's 30 of them. Haven't done ring muscle ups in 6 weeks. It's been a long time. That workout took me 18 minutes to do.
Oh, wow.
Which it should not take you that long. That is a 10-minute workout, probably less. But if I would have done the pull-ups, I would have done the pull-ups unbroken. And I was like, well, I'm gonna do
challenge
this.
Yourself.
Yeah, challenge myself a little bit. And dude, I was like down to singles, twos, and typically, you know, I would, kick a post or throw a ring or something like that. And no, I was super zen about it, and just got through it and everything. And that's the mindset that I want to have in going forward and everything like that, because the results just don't matter. You should have fun with it. And again, being able to deal with hard stuff in here is going to be able to help you deal with hard stuff in life as well.
For sure. And I mean, I think that mindset that is like, man, I need to kick a rig or, do whatever, like throw a shaker bottle, like that's not going to help you.
No.
That's not helping you get on top of the rings.
Yeah.
I watched, Dan Tominski.
No, who's Dan Tominski?
He's an old games athlete from like 2013, 2014.
Okay, tell me the story.
He posted on his Instagram of him on 21.3, and he was like failing bar muscle ups. And this dude was like, at the games, multiple games athlete, multiple year regionals athlete, boom sauce, like, just, used to, on Team Tupu, like, it's a beast.
Yeah.
Can't do bar muscle ups. Didn't finish that workout, and like post this video of him like at some gym dropping in, like acting like a baby and like throwing his shaker and like cursing really loud and just like yelling at himself because he's not where he wanted to be. It's just like, that's not helping you get on top of the bar. And all it's doing is reinforcing your feelings about yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, a lot of, that, and I think that CrossFit helps you train for that, but you do have to be aware that like that's kind of the point of some of these workouts, is to get you into a comfortable place where you start having those conversations with yourself where you're like, why am I doing this?
Dude, that inner voice, it can be a demon, man. You know, but
that's the way. Like, I feel like being able to go there and, you know, have that voice talking to you, and you tell it, no, it doesn't matter why I'm doing this. There's 10 burpees left, and I just have to get to the end. You know?
I'm totally with you on that, man. Let's go on to 21.3. It's a good segue. Let me start, because this is perfect. I mean, this, you know, the way that this young man did the workout was very similar to how I did it. I wasn't. Now, if I would look at the video back, I would not be proud of how I handled myself during that workout. Right, kicked a post. I think I was about as egregious as it got, but I was really mad. Right, so I did the best chest to bar pull-ups that I've done in a long time. Those 30 were probably the best 30 I've done. Long time. And so my tie break time, I got to the bar muscle ups about 9 minutes, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna finish. I was like, it's 30, but I was like, I can do 30 in 6, or in about 5 minutes. I was like, I can do that. I've done that before. And, you know, I do the first couple, and then actually what happened is I failed the first one, the very first one, and I was like, oh no. And the voice starts kind of creeping inside your head and going there. And then I get on do a set of 3, and I didn't have a strategy going into that either. Right, and then I was looking at the coaches chat with everybody else, and I'm like, I did singles, and I was like, during that whole workout, I just refused to do singles, because I was like, I can do more than singles. And for what?
Yeah.
Like, why? Because I had to be a badass and do 2. I have no idea what was going on in my head, but somewhere I thought I could do 3s the whole time. Tried, failed, and I just lost control, and it was my head, right? Because I ended up getting 13 bar muscle ups. It was fine. But in 6 minutes, for me, dude, I know that's not reality. I think I could have. I know I could have gotten through 30. Would I finish the thrusters? I don't know. That would have been a close call, but I could have gotten through the 30 there in 6 minutes, absolutely no problem. And I will go back to that workout down the road just to test that from a mental standpoint, man. So that's where I was at. The programming for it, I loved. I thought it was a wonderful combination of the barbell and just some high-level gymnastics, right? I thought the combination for conditioning was really good, and then you got to go and do some weightlifting afterwards. And that complex was really hard. We were talking about that before the podcast came on.
Surprisingly hard.
Holy smokes. I just couldn't believe how hard I was breathing. You know, I'd clean the bar, get to the shoulder, and I was like, you know, and but I loved the programming. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he did a good job with this one.
Yeah.
I thought the theatrics of the last one was a little cringy, but you know. That's
let's address production. Next question.
Okay.
You know, because I think we should talk about that, and I think it'll be interesting to kind of talk about that as well. But with 21.3, I also just thought it was a fun workout.
It was a lot of fun.
And it's one of those workouts where people get a lot of firsts, or they do something that you don't think you're going to be able to do, right? People are going to get a bar muscle up when they don't think they can get a bar muscle up. They're going to get the first bar muscle up. They're going to get a pull-up for the first time, or a chest to bar, do 15 chest to bars, and they've only done 3 ever in a workout. Fun workout, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm glad that any workout where they make the thruster not
that was nice.
Not the devil of the workout. That was, you know, I feel like normally, people give thrusters such a bad name because of the workouts they've done that have been really hard with thrusters.
Yeah.
But, thrusters can be an enjoyable part of a workout, you know, as long as it's not.
That was probably the first workout where I was like, I can't wait to get back to the thrusters.
Yep.
You know, because you got a little bit of a break in there as well.
Yeah, I loved the workout.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, as soon as it came out, I was like, hell yeah, this is what I've wanted. You know, this is what I've been waiting for. You know, loved the heavy lift afterwards. I haven't done a whole lot of that in the last few years, lifting right after a Metcon.
Yeah, Luke programmed. It was probably one of the other open workouts where we did a clean and jerk at the end of it, and we've done 18-2 where he did heavy clean, and I really like that.
So do I. No, I think it taxes you in an interesting way and challenges you in an interesting way.
Yeah, it's really different. Yeah, I really like it when they do that.
The only thing that I didn't like about, I guess, this workout from a scaling perspective was this was the only one that I felt wasn't equal from a stimulus standpoint across the levels.
So for people who don't understand what stimulus means, what do you mean?
I mean, people that don't have, there was hanging knee raise was the first one, I think, or whatever it was. It was the next scale after they had changed something from it was like pull-up was a hanging knee raise, and they were like, well, what if you can't do that or something like that? There was something where it was like, I think the toes to bar became sit-ups, and then the pull-ups became hanging knee raises, and they were like, well, what if you can't do a hanging knee raise? And it was like,
Did they not have anything below that? And I really didn't do a good job at checking scales or anything this year.
Either, but that was just like, from hearing other people in the gym talk about it, that was like the one thing where they were like, I felt like this workout wasn't quite the same for everyone else.
Yeah, there's always one where they'll do something like that, right? Like 18-3 when they had ring muscle-ups and they had the bar muscle-ups in there. Like their scale for the muscle-ups like chest bar pull-up. Or it was like a pull-up, and people are like, what the hell, man? That's not a scale.
Yeah.
And I will say I think they do that for one of those workouts, basically to make sure, if you well, I guess that's a scale workout. They just do that once, I think, within the Open, where they make something like that really difficult. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard, like, scaling something in class, you're like, okay, let me get some, something that is a pulling motion, or, you try to get something similar.
Yeah.
Movement that rhymes with whatever you're doing. But, in a competition standpoint, and trying to make it even across those scale levels from what the workout should feel like is really hard. Yeah, and
I guess I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate here and be on the side of CrossFit in regards to this too. The same thing for me today, right? Perfect example, right? I could have done today's workout running pull-ups, right? And I would have went unbroken and done really well. It wouldn't have been as challenging if I did the ring muscle-up, right? There might be something to say about doing, a workout that's, your typical scaled movement sometimes, where it's like, and you get comfortable with that and you expect that, but like when a pull-up gets in there and you're like, well, I don't know if I can do a pull-up, or maybe I can do one, that might be a really good challenge for you, or maybe it's a hanging knee raise and you can only do, 3 or 5 and you can't do, 15 or 20 in a row. That might be a good test for you to do something that's really, really difficult once a year. Right, or on occasion. We certainly don't advocate for that. We're big fans of scaling and everything like that. But if you're really comfortable with something, that might be something to think about in the future, where once a month, maybe bi-monthly, you're taking a look at a workout like that, and you're like, okay, let
me really try.
Yeah, I can only do, I don't know, 1 toes to bar today, but today I'm going to slow my workout down. I'm going to do toes to bar, and I'm really going to work on this skill that is really difficult for me. There might be something to be said about something like that as far as that programming went.
No, for sure. Other than that, loved it. Great workout. Did it twice.
Did you get a lot of shit for that?
No. I mean, yes
I probably pay attention to the
I gave a bunch of shit for the first one.
Like the least, just because I'm not a big social media guy. And I saw that portion where you're like, yep, I'm going back. I'm going to redo this. And I'm like, oh, this guy's about to get smoked, because you're such a big advocate of not retesting.
Yeah.
And I understand why. But why did you decide to retest 1.3?
So let's address why I'm not an advocate of redoing workouts.
Man. and it makes sense, right? It makes sense.
So personally, I am against the retest. Just and I've retested multiple workouts in the years, but I am against the concept of it, or the idea of it, just because I feel like it changes what the game is. And for me at the beginning, it's kind of like I wanted everyone to agree on, like, hey, we're all going to do these once, right? It's a test, right? Like, show up what you got. That's the test. But if you go into it with the mindset of, hey, it's Thursday to Monday, here's the workout, what's the best score that you can get, here's the time frame you have to do it in, then it's like, okay, well, if that's the competition that we're doing, then that's what it is. And I think for me, I just need to be okay with the fact that that's what the competition is. And if you do well enough the first time, then that's good. And that should be the goal, to do it in one.
Yeah. I think you put this into context for me that I really thought was good. And I used to think about it like this too, where you're like, I don't want to come in on a Thursday or Friday, or maybe perhaps you shouldn't approach a workout like it's going to be a test run.
Yeah.
I definitely did that in the past, where I'm just like, okay, this is my strategy. I'm going to see how it works out. And if it's crappy, I've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday to go ahead and do it. And I would probably put, I don't know, maybe 90% effort into that instead of 100, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that you should always go in, and try and and do what you think you can, and like the last workout, I went super fast, and I was like, I have this strategy. I totally like ignored my strategy as soon as I started, went way too fast, blew up. I mean, I finished the workout, but I was just like, there was dumb mistakes that I made too.
Yeah.
Like I finished the 15-bar muscle up, or the 30-bar muscle ups, and I totally forgot that there was 15 thrusters afterwards. I just thought it was done. Like all I could see was the end of those 30 bar ups, and I was like, as soon as I finished the last one, I was like, whew, thank God. I cut my hand shaving, like on the top of my fingers that night, because I had like, I don't know, I was gonna.
How did you cut the top of your fingers shaving? That's interesting.
Okay, so I use
little sidebar here for us.
So I use a like Sweeney Todd
straight razor. Oh, you're an old school guy. I used to use a double edge. So I get you.
So
this makes more
sense. It's not a
sense.
safety razor. It's like it's just a razor blade on a.
There's a reason they created safety razors.
Yeah, correct.
But that's sweet that you do that.
Correct.
Man.
So like I was shaving, and I finished like this last stroke, and I was like going to put it out the sink, and like it just slipped out of my hand and knocked the top of my hand, and made these like little superficial cuts. A couple hours before the open workout, no big deal. Like it didn't hurt or anything. Was fine through the toes to bar, fine through the chest to bar. Did great. Got to the bar muscle ups, and like after my first set, I guess my skin just like warmed up and like stretched out a little bit, and it just started bleeding everywhere.
Oh, that's
and it was
so annoying.
Like dripping blood, and it was like my hands weren't ripped, but it was just slippery.
Yeah.
So my grips were all slippery. I was like sliding all over the bar. I was like getting disoriented. It was smoked. And then I finished, didn't know that I had the thrusters, was like wiping the blood off my hands, got a drink of water. Elizabeth's like, you got thrusters.
Keep going.
I'm like, yeah, yep, I'll get to there in 1 sec. And then I get up to the bar, I'm like, oh crap. Get to the bar, I had to like sprint through 15 thrusters, and that just like wrecked me. Because I think I was like, mentally I was like, okay, I'm done with this first part. And then it was like, oh no, sprint 15 thrusters. And then cooled off for a little bit, put me on my knees for a while, which I didn't like, and then I was just kind of messy for the clean and jerks. Wasn't able to really like compose myself.
Yeah.
Missed the jerk at the end because I didn't know that you could make it after the time.
Oh yeah.
So I did the deadlift, did the hang clean, literally was like standing up the hang clean of my life, and Elizabeth was like, and time. And I was like, oh. And then I just like didn't really like try that hard on the jerk. So like those are the reasons that I went and redid it. And it was more just kind of like a personal vendetta against like the workout. I just felt like I made mistakes that were stupid, and it wasn't like a very good representation of my fitness. But that ended up being like my favorite part of the Open was retesting that workout, because I got to do it with my buddy Scott, which was like. It was a really special experience for like us to be able to. Scott Shirey is the man. It was really cool to be able to share that with him, like
awesome,
after
bro.
knowing him for so long. And, all the stuff that we've been through. So it was cool to like, get to do that. And he was the only other person that retested it, and he crushed it. Like it was really cool.
That's awesome, man. So it sounds like the retest and everything went really well for 21.3. Thanks for walking us through all that and everything like that. Let's go to the production side of things. What did you think of the production going from? Did you watch any of the 2020 production at all? Okay, so going from 2020 back to 2021, thoughts?
Well, 2020 was awful.
Yeah, that was a donkey show.
That was
man.
like when they had they were like doing like live streams from like every country, and it was like,
pretty much just whoever did it. They didn't have their
when
stuff.
The announcement was gonna be.
Yeah.
Nobody knew like how it was gonna work. It was like they were like, "Here's the announcement," and everyone's like, "Where's Dave? Who's this guy?" And it was like some random like gym owner was like, "Hey, here's the workout." It was like, "Is that really the workout?" And it was like wall balls and rowing. It was like, "Is this a joke?"
Yeah.
Like, but yeah. So I'm really glad they brought back, the media team, and you had like Sean Woodland and just like some familiar,
Rory,
like,
all those guys. Yeah.
It's just good, like familiar kind of fit. It's like, I don't know. I think with media in general, you get used to like kind of household names, and that helps kind of like with the whole vibe of thing. Like when I think of the CrossFit Games, like I think of Sean Woodland's voice.
Oh yeah, man. I think Sean Woodland's fantastic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's
but
fantastic.
That's what I hear when I think like, and I hear that little the logo closing. I'm like,
yeah,
CrossFit Games.
Yeah, so absolutely, man.
I love they brought the media team back. Yeah, and I thought the production was great. I think that Dave Castro adds like a interesting, sinister element to the culture. But I also have like, I don't like that he's like has this position of like where he's like the puppet master, or where he like plays the puppet master, and he seems like he has all these strings that he's pulling. And I don't know. That's like kind of cringy to me, and the way he does the whole show of it is a little cringy. But yeah,
what was cringy in 21.3? I did not watch that show.
You didn't see the memes?
No, dude, not a social media guy, right? I got enough going on in my life. I don't scroll through a whole bunch of places or anything like that.
So this is actually something I've thought about doing as like kind of a segment on YouTube, was doing meme reviews. So if you want to see a meme review.
Monday meme reviews with Monroe Miller. That's brilliant.
CrossFit
you should
meme
start
review?
doing that. Okay.
Right? So
send your favorite memes to Monroe at Verity.training.
There you go. No, there's like all these. So like he did the he like announced the first workout, and then like Rory's like going over to talk to him, and he like comes up behind him and like puts his hands on his shoulder, and he's like, "But wait, Rory, I'm not done." And there was like all these memes of like the parallels between like Dave with his hands on Rory's shoulders, and Rory just has like this defeated look on his face. He's like like the Titanic, and like all these other like people. Like it was just funny. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just like, there's just some things where Dave Castro does things where it's just like one barbell, a box, 2 athletes. It's like, dude, you don't have to like do the whole theatrics of it.
So yeah, I like the theatrics that he does.
Oh, really?
Right? I do, yeah, because he's a showman, right? Uh-huh. And there's a showman element to it. I do think he makes it entertaining. And it's his style, man,
For
right?
sure.
If you and like
and then
you
it's
can
like,
love, hate him, do all that, but like, dude, going from 2020, like people missed him in 2020, dude, and I certainly did, and I loved. I thought their production was fantastic. Going to the I don't know if it was Noble headquarters or where they were, but I thought everything that they had, bringing on different athletes onto the big screens, and I thought they did a really nice job, especially coming back from 2020.
Yeah.
And even from back in the day where, Matt and Rich went head-to-head maybe in like 15-2 and there was no music or anything. It was just them going up and down. They've come a long way from that. It's incredible. And this is something we can't probably take for granted. Like the National Football League, right? Like was in its early stages, like early 20th century. Brand new, right? And it's been around for over 100 years now. Like CrossFit is brand freaking new, dude. And we get to be a part of that. Like people are going to look back at us, in 2110, and they're going to be like, gosh, man, Matt Fraser still has, the 5 consecutive things. And people are going to be like, yeah, but it was the brand new sport. And we get to be part of that, man. It's so like, I take that for granted sometimes.
Yeah, it's cool.
Right?
No, I'm stoked to be a CrossFitter.
Yeah, man. But I love the production. I love them bringing back everybody.
Sure.
Thought they did a really nice job. It'll be interesting to see the Noble sponsorship kind of going forward instead of Reebok, which is interesting.
From an affiliate owner standpoint, I thought it was awesome. I thought they did a great job. This was the first time that I've received emails when they announced the workouts. Right, so I got an email from Dave Castro every time they announced the workouts.
And you didn't have to go like Google search, find it. Yeah, that's really cool.
I mean, it wasn't that. I mean, it was everywhere, but it's more like just like that extra personal touch.
Yeah.
It's like he had something to say, and like a couple days ago, I got an email from Eric Rosa, the CEO. And he was just like, "Hey, thanks for a great open." It's like that, like little things like that can go so far.
Yeah,
and it's like
it's awesome.
And it's unfortunate that a lot of affiliates, even in our local area, have dropped affiliation and, kind of decided to do their own thing.
Yep.
But, I feel like I've never been more proud to be a CrossFit affiliate,
man.
So
yeah, in businesses,
awesome.
they change, they get better, they do all that. Thought they did a fantastic job in the Open.
For sure.
What's next for the Open? I know we have quarterfinals. Is Verity going to be participating in any of that? What's next, man?
Yeah, so we were lucky enough to have a few people make the quarterfinals. So this is a new thing. We're not going to be doing it like in class or anything.
Well, and I think I was talking to Pat, Bailey, Nick this morning. It's over one weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, so, it's a week.
Okay.
I think it's a week. You have to submit, and they'll give you who knows? They'll give you a bunch of events and be like, hey, you have to film all of these and submit them by next Thursday.
That's going to be interesting. So that would be difficult to do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I think we'll probably find a way to, let the members, maybe do live streams when we're doing them or something like that. Just keep people involved and people, engaged with it, because, these guys that are doing that, work their butts off for this. So it's cool to see, that there is another stage that is not quite regionals, where it's like the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
But it's also like, that next tier, which is cool.
Yeah, well, you got to be really good. We were talking about this morning too, where we were going back and forth. We're like, are there going to be a lot of people that do it? Is there not? And I was like, I think there'll be a lot of people that do it. And I also just thought it was cool, where, man, to be a regionals athlete, right? And you've had this experience way closer than I have, where you were doing, man, almost everything you could possibly do back in 2017 to qualify. And obviously Monroe is a fit dude, right? And you still didn't qualify for that. What I think is cool about this is if you come in, you still gotta work hard, right? To be able to make top 10%, whatever that is. But it's attainable for pretty much anyone, right?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Which I think is really cool. I think that's really awesome to be able to provide that.
10% is like, you've been doing CrossFit for a while.
Oh yeah.
And it's like the kind of the workouts that come out. It's like, that's, you should probably be able to do some muscle ups, and you should probably be able to do some wall walks and throw a dumbbell around.
Yeah, so I thought that's a cool next step to everything that's going to be in there. I know you qualified. Are you going to be doing the workouts?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, man, are we getting videos again?
Yeah, of course.
All right, man.
That's honestly
so with Monroe Miller.
So that was my after the first workout, I was like 85th percentile. So I was like, I was like, got to do it. I got to push so I can see what I got. So it was cool.
Yeah, the videos I thought were very helpful. I've done them in the past, right? But I would just kind of stand at a whiteboard, talk about my experience almost right after the workout. And I love that you had film of yourself talking about strategy, and then talking about it afterwards too. It was insightful. It was really good, and I think you got a lot of positive feedback on that as well.
Yeah, and from my I'm like learning how to do all this stuff myself, so it was cool learning experience, to watch that, and then to watch what everybody else put out. Like I watch a lot of like what Ben from WOD Prep does. Because
he's fantastic.
Oh, he does a great job.
Yeah.
But I'm ingesting all of my footage into my computer, and his video's uploaded, and it's like 10 o'clock at night, and I have like 5 hours of editing ahead of me. I'm like, this guy has like a team, and like it's like the production is.
It's totally different, dude.
Yeah,
we had him on the last podcast.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh cool.
Awesome dude. He's from the area. He's from Maryland as well. But yeah, man.
I've just been like following him kind of recently, just because
he's
we're
awesome.
making some.
We'll get him on here. We'll see if we can get him on here.
Really?
Yeah, we
that'd
could
be
probably
awesome.
do it. That'd be sweet. But he's got great content, and it reminded me of that, that's saying something, man. He puts out really good content, and
for sure.
Same ballpark.
But no,
as
I
him too.
took a lot from it, and for me, I think the biggest thing was like trying to talk about what you think about something when you're dead tired right after is super hard. Like I just turned the camera on like 2 minutes afterwards. I'm like, okay, I think I kind of had an idea.
2 minutes?
I wasn't. It was like 5-10 minutes.
Oh, that's still
it was right
tough. After 21-2.
Because it was late at night.
I needed like 40 minutes to be able to judge Sydney afterwards, and I was still trashed.
Yeah, it was late at night, and so it was like I had to get home. I had to do this editing overnight, and so it was just like
Thursday too. Yeah.
So I just turned on the camera, and I'm like, it was hard.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was kind of hard. It's
well,
like hard to
what,
really
when we go to the 2022 videos, I will make a commitment right now that I will do that workout side by side with you on Thursday nights.
Oh yeah,
I'm making that right now.
And then we can give our
then we get feedback together. I love
beautiful.
it, man. Okay, not what's next? We talked about that. What do you want to accomplish for yourself here going into 2022?
From what?
Gym wise,
athletic standpoint.
Athletic standpoint. What do you want to work on, man?
What do I want to work on? I want to work on fixing my glute. I know I've been saying that for a while, and that's like 95% of the way there. 98% of the way there. I'm back to like lifting big weights. I'm back or bigger weights. You know, I'm back to like not having a lot of pain. It just still is like.
And this has been what, a little over a year?
Yeah,
give or take.
A year and a half, and it's just like it's just nagging. And I know like it's like I know what I need to do, and what I need to do is not more workouts.
Okay.
I need to do like more stretching and mobility. And
I was listening to David Goggins last night on the way home from Hilton Head, South Carolina, and he does like 2 hours of stretching like every single night. And he had this bunch of pressure related issues with his psoas to a point where he was like almost paralyzed, if you don't know his story. And it was stretching, fixed it, changed his whole life. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. And so I listened to that, and I've got my mobility's not bad, but I got tight hips, I got tight shoulders, and I'm like, man, I just wish stretching was like cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For
like,
sure.
I watch Netflix or whatever it's going to be at night. And I'm just like, all right, I need to bust the GO-WOD out, or just like get there and last night I did.
In the worst position, sitting.
Yeah, I last 2 nights I got a 2-day streak so far, and nice. It needs to keep going, man. That's so important.
Yeah,
okay.
I did last night. I actually did ROM WOD for the first time in probably a month.
That's awesome. I like the ROM WOD stuff because it can be longer as well, but 2 hours of stretching, I couldn't get over that. I was like, God, that is so much stretching.
Yeah, so that's what's in store for me for the rest of the year.
Okay.
More stretching and lifting weights, and just trying to be consistent and get stronger.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the Open, it turns, for most people, unless you're going to be going now to quarterfinals, regional semifinals, whatever they're calling it now, it really turns the page in a new season for pretty much everybody. What are you hoping to accomplish here with the gym?
Just more of the same stuff we've been doing. I mean, I really just want to get this front lobby and showers done and open. Yeah, it's finally coming along. So yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, we're doing great. I had an awesome first quarter, and just can't wait for more of that. So it's been super positive. 2021's been awesome. Yeah. What about you?
Man, I'm going to the whole mindset thing, man. I am going to get in the gym more.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that more. It was a weird thing, man. So when the pandemic hit, because I hadn't been doing a lot, and I was just like, I'm going to chill. Mm-hmm. We went into lockdown, and Sydney and Kyle were working out every day, sometimes multiple times, and I'm like, I'm going 3 days a week. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm just taking this as a reset mode. I never really got out of that mentality, and it wasn't a good thing, right? And a lot of that time basically just got replaced with work, and basically just ended up, I'm going to say, becoming a workaholic to a standpoint, and I love working hard, no problem doing it, but, I want to enjoy life too. And there's also something just like so therapeutic about being in a gym for me. And I love being in class, and doing that. But, sometimes I didn't really realize this until recently. And I used to do this all the time at, Ashburn CrossFit because I had a key, and I was there all day and lots of times by myself. And just being by myself and just it's just me and the barbell, me and the skier, me and the rower. And that is very therapeutic from a mentality standpoint for me. So I'm going to get into the gym more, but I'm just going to work on my mentality, man.
Yeah,
that's number one. And that's going to help me out in here, sure. Not have mental breakdowns on bar muscle ups or the barbell, whatever it's going to be, but it'll also help me deal with other stuff,
for sure,
in life and everything like that. So that's what I'm going to go with. So I guess for an actual actionable thing is, man, what do I want to do? 21 days? Let's start with 21 days because I think that's what they say that you need to execute in order to create a habit, right? So 21 days. No kicking anything, no knocking over a foam roller, no swinging rings or anything like that.
Yeah, and I think it's important that, like, if you just say, hey, I'm not going to do that, and then you just don't do any hard workouts that put you there, then it's not. Then you can't say, yeah,
That's
exactly.
why today was perfect, man. And I could have done the pull-ups, and I would have done them unbroken, and that would have been great. I could have went fast, but it's not going to put me in a hard position, right? And good things happen when you accomplish really hard things. Sure. And the hard thing today was staring at the rings and just not losing my mind or thinking back to 2019 Brandon when that wouldn't have been a problem for me, right? Yeah. But man, that is what it is. So yeah, that's gonna be my actionable thing. I'm gonna start with 21 days, and then we'll put a new thing on there, and we'll talk about it. We probably should talk about goals, maybe more on a consistent basis. Yeah, 225. I need to clean and jerk 300. That's a whole different bear. So we'll get there. But maybe we should start talking about goals here.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just start podcast and be like, how's your glute? And you can be like, Brandon, how your temper tantrums come along? And we can just hold each other accountable there, man.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, dude. Closing thoughts. What you got?
Closing thoughts. Open was awesome. Can't wait for next year.
Yeah. To everybody out there, congratulations if it's your first Open that you've ever done.
Yeah.
From the bottom of my heart, it just brought me a lot of joy to walk in, Friday night on 21.2 when we got to be a part of it, and just see all the smiling faces, the camaraderie that's in here. That's the special part about being at a CrossFit gym, being at Verity Speed and Strength, that you can't get when you're at home. You can't get that when you're doing online programming. You just get to come in here, you get to put your phone away, and you just get to be with people. And that's something that technology and stuff can't. It's just never going to be able to replace. And it was just a joy to be a part of that with all you guys. So,
for sure.
Yeah, man. Cool.
If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. We really appreciate it. And from me and Brandon, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
All right, guys. You're listening to the Full Send Podcast. We're out.